Hi guys, this is Tarquin coming back with another episode of A Clash of Kings 1.5x, and we are going to run down these Clansmen and kill them, and apparently it is just going to be our 45 against their 10, so, well, we are going to proceed slowly, cautiously, and carefully, but apparently we are now up to, what is the number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cavalry. That's good news. I think Selyse the Black still labeled as infantry. That is something that almost always happens to me, that I do not relabel companions as the group that they need to be in. So, going to assume that is the case here, because I do count 6 forces. Sure, and I do. But that's not going to matter. These are just some random clansmen. They're going to die very quickly. And we're going to at least let our archers get a few shots off before we charge across this field. But if we are lucky and the winds are in our favor, we're going to end up killing a lot of them, or at least wounding them, before we actually have to bring this battle to a head. But it looks as though our archers are still not really hitting anyone yet. Anyway, shooting right over their heads, but they've hit one person this whole time. That's really not that impressive, I'm afraid to say. But now, apparently, terribly hard for archers to hit a moving target, but of course many of our archers are companions that are not that good at it yet, or else they're crossbowmen who are really bad at hitting moving targets, which is sad because, well, crossbowmen are fantastic at dealing damage to knights, but really never get the opportunity to do it. There's a goat helmet that's not going to do us any good, but it's going to sell for at least a tiny amount of money, and that's going to be fine. We have a few weapon skills to go around. We're just going to throw them into the crossbow just on the offhand chance that we might use it sometime in the future. I'm just going to pop on over to White Harbor, give the purse to a hospice, just because 100 coins isn't worth anything at all. There are some Unsullied that are here, but Grosdon the Slaver is who I was really looking for. And, bam, 1,500 coins, just what I needed. And here's Finna, who has been itching to swing her axe around, and I am very happy to have her in my party now. And Aratos and Tarian I could barely afford. And, well, I could give him a crossbow and he could start leveling up, and even though he's 6,000 coins, I might as well. That's not the economic move that I was planning on making, but getting a new companion, especially an important one like Aratos the Engineer, just always something that I'm going to want to do, even if I plan against it. He has pretty terrible equipment right now. But what we're going to do is actually go ahead, and Finna's face, of course, looking very different nowadays than it used to. We could steal her armor, but we promised we wouldn't. So what we're going to do is go ahead and send her out on a right-to-rule mission. And Aratos has one of his own to go out on here in a bit, but we'll give him a second, because of course he won't go if we ask him to go immediately. And good old Roderick going to get up to level 5 power draw, and slowly, very slowly, getting decent numbers going on. Let's go ahead, get Selyse the Black in the Cav group. And what sort of broken men are these? Veteran Sisterman Spearmen, we can kill them, no problem. And so we're going to make a number of threats and basically use this as an enterprise to get some of our archers a little bit higher in experience, and that is why we're going to retreat and change the commander to Drollo. Yes, it's definitely the Dothraki Corsair, very slow to turn its head. There's Selyse the Black there on the other side of everything. Don't know why the cavalry are so far back relatively. Maybe this is where the infantry line is going to end up. But we're just going to go ahead and push our hero over to the left a little bit. get her out of the way of all the problems. Tell the cavalry to go ahead and break there in the back. Since these guys don't have any range, we're just going to try to deal with them. Don't know how that didn't hit him in the foot, but that's okay. What we're going to do is just turn around, and some of them will continue going. No, I didn't tell everyone to sit still, did I? No, I didn't, because I am not a smart man. But what we're going to do is go ahead and try to take some shots into the back of these poor fools running into a rock, because it's pretty much the only thing I can do left to get experience in this battle. But the rest of our troops are handling them. I was just hoping to make this more of a focus on companion experience, but not so lucky. But actually managing to get more than a few kills there from horseback, so some nice experience for this character. And there's Giannis breaking a lance on someone's head, very proud of him. And Selyse the Black still in fine form, so this is actually, well, what I need to do is get Drollo a better horse, which is going to happen in 2 steps. Step 1, we're going to take the horse of Clavis the Bear. 3 steps, I should have said. And gonna keep on pumping his agility for another riding point eventually. And of course the weapon master, we're gonna get him a power strike as well. And keep on going for archery for the time being. And then we're going to give Clavis the Bear a notably worse horse, just because that's how it goes. It's still better than a Roundsy. Not really that great of a consolation prize, but what he's going to have to learn to live with. You see they do have throwing axes, and that'll be the same through all of the sistermen retainers, all the way up through elites. They're going to have them same as the Ironborn do. So that there's another good heavy infantry force that's different in flavor, different in specifics, different in culture, but that has the same general sort of abilities, just as there's a million different kinds of knights. Did we take any prisoner? Nope, sure didn't. But now all we have to do is go and fight more wildlings, because sadly, though we were doing alright, Arado Centaurian showed up and put his beautiful face into the mix of all of our companions and forced us to spend 6,000 coins on him. And that's why we gave him a crossbow, told him that we loved him, and now are broker than anything, but still got a contract. Not too far in the negatives. Was that an enemy force? Yes, it was. 64 of them, too. And now that, it sounds like something to get a little bit of teeth sunk into. And look at that, actually. There are a lot of Ironborn with them. 24 of them are pirate captains. So they're going to have 5 Elite Ironborn, a ton of Ironborn, actually. Am I ready to deal with that? Well, they don't have horsemen. We're just going to have to see. But actually, if they're running from the Blackfish, then these guys will have to run from the Blackfish. Ignore the festivities. And actually, we're going to... Well, this is 100 wildlings against our forces. And I don't actually want to fight them today. Gonna be totally honest with you, just as I am with them. Don't want to. Leave us in peace. The reason for that is just I don't have enough men that can kill 2 to 1. My archers aren't that good, my companions are not that well armored.
My men would like a word with you about your purse and your belongings.
And apparently now we're going to have this battle anyway. So. Well, goodness. Let's see what's gonna go on. Okay, I don't really know how I can get these movements to be how I want them to be. So hopefully this is all just going to work out fine anyway. I don't think it's going to happen. I think I am going to lose a terrible and horrifying battle. That's why I was sort of hesitant to come into it. But all we can do is hope. And that is damage I did not want to take, but at least their horsemen are coming in hot. But apparently, nope, not working out. And break a lance on them, don't get anything out of it. We need to now tell our infantry to fall back and try to fragment their forces a little bit here, hopefully dissuading a lot of these Ironborn from murdering all of my friends. But it looks like a ton of losses coming in right now, and so many of them coming in at me. Should we try to flee? Should we try to get a couple more kills first? I think what I'm going to do is try to get out of here. We are actually able to do that. Now we've lost a lot of our range and several of our friends, but we managed to leave with our hide intact, such as it is. And that group of wildling augmented Ironborn, really not fun to mess with, and my troops not at all in the condition to deal with that, not on full difficulty. And now, of course, we're still looking for a fight, but I'm not sure where those wildlings are now, so we're just going to keep on moving through the forest. What's Brennan Tully doing? Going to Bear Island. Maybe there's a feast? Who knows? Not me. Anyway, I've lost those wildlings entirely, and now I'm just running around like an imbecile. I couldn't beat them on the field, and now I can't find them. There somewhere. And I moved right past them, and here we go. 23 wildlings, that's just fine. This is going to be really nice compared to that elite Ironborn augmented wildling force that was going to rip my face clean off. You don't know the buffs that I've given the Ironborn. They're considerable. They're very frightening. It's not like they're better than knights, but they do have buffs commensurate with the fact that they don't get to have horses, which makes them really, really scary. Can I lance him? Nope. Almost got my horse killed. And what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and hold here. And I'm going to sick everyone on our enemies, but have the cavalry follow me just so we don't take any losses there. My horse is already considerably hurt. Don't want anything worse to happen, but there we go. At least one kill happening there. And now, I mean, our forces are quite effective, and at least this is anyway a very small amount of wildlings, but I usually, in the past, haven't played with, well, such dangerous elite troops and with full difficulty on. And so there's a lot of fights that I'm just going to run away from because I don't really relish the idea of going into a fight that I'll lose. However, I'm going to try my best in this playthrough to not quit playing just because I lose a fight and to try to press on. But that's another reason why I'm trying to go more heavy economy at the beginning. Good old Gurner Pike. And what we're going to do is, I think, keep pushing his strength until he gets at least to like level 7 power draw probably. But maybe just leave him at that point so that he can use a masterwork item or two in the strength category. And we have barely anyone wounded. Here are these wildlings that we didn't quite get to deal with earlier, and now we are in much better shape to deal with them. There are just 61 of them. We're going to be meeting them on an open plain. And that's going to be much better for us. Now, it's going to be a bit anticlimactic for a small amount of time. Namely, until they come into range of the archers, and actually what we're going to do... Okay. 1, F2, F1 is the infantry advance order. We don't have that many archers, do we? No, we definitely don't. So we're going to be taking on a lot of really scary Ironborn with basically nothing at all. But we're going to do it, and we're going to be hopeful, and we're going to hopefully distract many of them from attacking us with this initial movement here from a horse that doesn't seem to be as spry as he used to be whenever he was young. Might be crippled, might be not, but in any case, we are going to run around in a very immature circle, trying to get away with, oh man, those are Ironborn retainers, so we know they've got axes, but at least that's a few of them paying attention to me, and not to my friends. And now they are coming in closer and closer to our other friends. We're going to tell the infantry to charge, just to see what happens here. And in fact, I think we need to tell everyone to charge. We're going to be coming in hot behind them here, and we're going to go ahead and lance down a spearwife. And there's a couple of kills, but okay, look at that. All of those pirate captains here. We're getting a few kills, but oh no, all of those retainers coming in hot and throwing those axes. What are our numbers like? Okay. 13 casualties. That means we have more on the field now than they have before. That means we're going to be fine. But what I need to do is go ahead and flee, get out of this battle, keep their archers focusing on me now that we have 7 cavalry up. We're going to take a lot of damage in this, and all we're going to get is 1 White Harbor Knight and the glory of beating those wildlings that defeated us or made us flee earlier on. Of course, can't just have that stand on our pride. We are a Lofston after all, and our people are famously crazy, and there is Giannis making me proud. And the rest of my companions coming around being total professionals. Is Barangar Perrin going to smack him in the face with justice and a staff? Who knows? I hope so. but their hauberks are between chain and mail quality. They are not anything to scoff at. Their helms, very decent. They've got good athletic skill. They're very elite troops. Somehow we got some polearm proficiency out of that, and Giannis ends up with a kill. What is our damage? 8 dead. I wonder who they were. Okay. That Sisterman Retainer, we lost 8 infantry for that. And we did, however, get a White Harbor Knight back. That is fantastic. Absolutely awesome. Anytime you can get a unique troop, I've upgraded many of them. White Harbor Knights, I think I left alone because they were very strong in the first place. But really cool to have them in my party. Maybe I gave them better horses. But it's entirely possible that they had those before. They are quite good units. But it doesn't look like we're going to need any of those items, so that is the cymbal sound of a new level up, and couldn't be happier to have it. However, what we're going to do is go ahead and give Clavis the Bear. Never mind, he already had some gloves. We're going to give him slightly better gloves, just on the grounds that he might need it. And Giannis, I think we're going to go towards strength and another power strike. Really need to get him a war lance, but I would rather inherit one than have to buy one. And we have a level up. And we're going to go ahead and take an endpoint, put one into trainer, and I think one more into Iron Flesh. And then keep on pumping crossbow since we're going to need it eventually. Now we have 20 open slots in our army. And I would say that we definitely need to fill some of them. Well, what we're probably going to do is just run through this forest then and get some northern troops on our side, but that's not really what I'm wanting as far as ranged men go. Maybe go and recruit a lot of men from the Vale to be some archers. Now, of course, I would prefer reach crossbowmen, but see, thrust the elbow into the groin, we get away. That's great news. Pretty weird scenario. It happens very frequently. Dudes are always jumping on Selyse the Black or any of my other characters, man and woman alike. But the best response, usually to elbow them in the groin, and then everything works out okay. We're just buying a lot of food because laziness is very convenient. Somehow those Krennigmen have northern archers for prisoners. Really not sure what's going on with that, but we're going to go ahead and hop on over to Goal Point, try to get some Vale Longbowmen to join up with us. Not going to really expect any enemies in the middle of the Vale. And there are 5 levies. $13. All that we could have hoped for, and well, we might drop off to High Hall, but I think we're actually gonna just drop off to Sweet Sister, get some more Sister 10 men. But not too many of them, apparently. And well, we might actually take some northerners to get some spearmen in our army. That wouldn't do amiss. And just one of them, because of course we didn't work on any reputation here in the north. We're not expecting to be here too long, but neither here nor there. We do have a lot more men, which does reduce actually the amount of renown that we get per battle, but it is important that we get a lot of upgraded troops everywhere that we can, just because death is a part of life, and it is a part of life that happens a whole lot when you act like an idiot as much as I do. What we're going to do is laugh at the idea that we're going to report to Roderick Wisbell just like he wants, and Finna needs a helmet. She's the only person, and Narato Centaurian as well, sort of in dire need of some upgrades. So what we need to do is fight some wildlings, get their items, steal them off of their dead bodies, and yeah, throw them on our friends. Here are 29 wildlings. We're going to go ahead and chase them down. We're going to tell them that we leave them in peace only because we want to level up these troops a little bit more. And then, once we level up our men, we're going to attack them. And we're going to go ahead and put 2 points into trainer for Medric Waterman, although he's only level 10. Everything else can wait. What we really want to do is get men out of the very remedial stage and at least into the veteran stage, if not into an elite classification, in the first couple of days. And we're just going to go ahead. Got to remember that Finna is going to still be an infantryman, because that is the way that the game works. They are all infantry before you tell them that they're not. But we're just going to wait right here, and hopefully they're all going to die. And not all of them, of course, but mainly just the horsemen. Now we're going to tell everyone to charge, because I don't know how to do things properly when I'm also trying to take a drink of beer and and go through the tactical aspects of this game. But can I get that kill? No, cannot. Maybe it's just that it's a destroyer and I'd been riding a courser for a while. I think that's probably it. And look at that. That's Spearwife taking out Medric Waterman at the same time that he totally puts a sword right through her head. And of course his horse is going to be fine. We can actually go ahead and change Finna into the cavalry group right here. That's good news. And we're going to take 2 jerkins and some shields, just because we know Aratos could use something. And Finna might very well need a shield. Now, she needs a helmet too, but we didn't get one out of that, so she's just going to have to wait for that one. And although her item is better than what I'm using, that is not the sort of person that we are. But no, it is just the Destrier at 40 speed being slower than what I was expecting. But that is working as intended. Just seemed a little slow. I'd been riding a courser for a good bit of the day today in game, and Clavis the Bear's got to level up, so I think well, we might as well go ahead and just keep on giving him some more power strike, get him up to 14 strength at least so that he can use some of the more accessible two-handers, that sort of thing. We get a quest cancelled, no doubt because that marshal got his face torn off by an enemy. And really, I am trying to find a wildling, but I haven't done it yet, and going to be ending this video somewhat soon, just because the last video that I was working on is nearly done, and I definitely believe in uploading as soon as I can, just because encoding takes a very large amount of time. I could exaggerate, and I probably wouldn't even use an amount of time in proportion to what I wanted. It's a lot longer than it takes to record a video in any case. But not finding any enemies anywhere around here, and I was really hoping to find some wildlings through that forest, not getting them. But more Vale archers, of course, we can only expect that they're going to die when they grow up, but still running around looking for one final wildling fight, essentially, before I finish this video up. Have a little bit more time, and just we will refuse to answer the case at all. That loses us honor. That's fine. It's not our business if someone dies. But yeah, Northern Spearmen, probably way too strong for their cost and level. But hey, nobody else is playing this mod. That would be something that I would change in my next tweak of it, certainly. But, well, I'm going to be happy to throw a few of them into my army. Nothing overpowered, just something nice. And now, they say stand and deliver. 54 against 28, and I think there's another group of wildlings on the horizon as well, so that could be pretty exciting. Little bit of fun for everybody, but what we're going to do is go ahead and just move up top of this hill and wait for our foes to come across. Makes me feel so damned brave. All of these people working for me, coming together to kill people. Why? Just because I told them to. Just because they wore furs and rode on other people's horses that they stole from their dead bodies. Well, now that I put it like that, it seems almost like it's acceptable to kill them. So, heavy spear out. And there's one spear. Can we get another one? Yes, there we go. And that other wildling getting a little bit through the line, but I think the other archers are going to deal with him. You'd think they would kill his horse or do something, but apparently they are missing every opportunity for glory right here. We're going to tell the archers to charge, free them up, but who knows what they're going to do with all their power. That Sistrum Entertainer getting a very nice kill on one of our enemies. The various retainers actually incredibly scary. Because they have now an appropriate amount of power throw to basically pay for the fact that they don't have a horse. They're going to be great in sieges, they're going to be great in siege defenses, and they're going to be even better on the battlefield than they were before. Just as knights are more hardy and have better battle skills as far as athletics and shield and power strike goes, the retainers of the Ironborn and the Sisterton men doing pretty well for themselves. And I, again, have a very bloody spear, and I'm just trying to find this guy trying to run away. How did they even get that far away? They must have started trying to flee long ago, but Looks like, there we go, we get to give him a graceful kick in the back of the head with a piece of metal. And there's 52 more damage and a bit of happiness and joy for the forces of truth and righteousness in the world. And a rusty war mace will be very nice to give someone. Finna is probably using an axe right now, if I recall correctly. Yes, that's just what we're seeing. And now these wildlings trying to get away from us a little bit, not going to work. And so this is going to be the next battle to end the battle. And as before, we're going to lead our troops first, since we don't have a stultifying advantage on the battlefield at the moment. But what we're going to do is go ahead and drop our cav here. And that should be broad enough time for everyone to get their jollies off. I'm going to actually go ahead and move the cav over to this side. And then I'm going to come in on the side of these wildlings with a heavy spear. Not working, but there we go. Killed that man's horse. And didn't get anything out of that, essentially. But now that our archers are trying to earn their keep, looks like this battle's about to be over. So what we're going to do is go ahead and lance down somebody, the first somebody that comes into view, and then try to punch somebody, apparently. Well, that didn't work out so well, but still got a sword. And there's another kill. And now we're just going to go ahead and try to get a little bit more mileage out of this. Poor wildlings, they're worth a whole lot more alive and dead than pretty much all the other bandits on the map, so it sort of dooms them to a life of, well, brutality and grief, I suppose I should say. And of course they're not the most savory folk in general, so can't even really feel bad about taking them out, given their proclivities for stealing and rape and murder, and all other forms of robbery. But nothing special coming out of that, except the old nasal helmet, which isn't great, but is still going to let us put something on Finna's head. And maybe hide that weird butterface that she's got going on. There we go. Looks a little bit different. Well, nope. Not really. Still kind of the same. I'm not a fan of the new female faces. I mean, the inclusion of them was nice, but now there's only about 2 of them or so. Just really felt like things were okay before that was removed. And maybe the addition to them would be fine, but hey, don't really care that much. The cosmetics of female characters' faces in games don't really figure that much into my appreciation. And I know I said I was going to quit it, but then I saw these 13 wildlings, and I thought, hey, what the hell? Might as well run on ahead and kill them. Ain't going to take too long. And then we'll end up this video. We'll have a lot of humans to sell off. Not too much loot to sell off, sadly. But it's been a good video. Very good video. Got our revenge on those wildlings. And there we go. We don't get that kill. Do we get this one? No, but nope, don't get any of those kills. We're just going to unleash the rest of the men on them now. And it is not going to be that dramatic. It is going to be a veritable slaughter. Teutenberg Forest sort of thing, but I'm going to have to kill this horse to get through it. And I try to spike it 4 times, don't kill it. That is a tough horse. Or I am bad with a spear. One or the other, and there's the spear wife. Dead and gone. Martin Snow's got to level up. I am excited about that, of course. All of my companions' levels are dear to me, but the ones that happen in the early game, very dramatic and great. Another leather vest, not that great of an item, but going to be better than I think what we put on Arato Centaurian earlier. So, yes indeed, much better. And Martin Snow's got his level up, and well, it's just got to go to the power draw. And we're actually going to go to the one-handed now, that the archery is around the 150s range. And well, that's about going to do it. What we're going to do is actually just head right on over to Winterfell. If we find any other wildlings on the road, we'll stop and beat their faces in afterward, but I don't think that's going to happen. No, it's not. And, well, Winterfell is a good place to end the video, so that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thanks for watching and listening, guys. I've just been wildling killing, but hope you had a good time. At least there was a fair bit of drama and danger going on for a bit of the video. But, yeah, well, that's it for this one. Be coming back with a few more today, I do hope. Thank you very much for your time.